Have you ever looked in the mirror and barely recognized the person staring back? Not because you've changed physically, but because you've been running after things that were never meant to be chased. That promotion, that relationship, that validation you desperately seek. What if I told you the very act of chasing is pushing these things further away? We're conditioned to believe that success comes from pursuit. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Chasing is surrender disguised as effort. It's the quiet confession that you don't believe you're enough unless someone or something outside of you validates your existence. There's a scent to desperation, and it repels everything good. Think about the most magnetic people you've encountered. Do they chase? Do they beg? Do they exhaust themselves trying to prove their worth? Never. Why? Because they understand something most people miss. What's aligned with your value will naturally move toward you. What isn't aligned will drift away, no matter how fast you run. Chasing flips the natural order of things. It places your worth below someone else's. It positions you at the mercy of outcomes you can't control. It slowly transforms you into a smaller, quieter, weaker version of yourself. But the moment you stop chasing, something magical happens. The world shifts. Suddenly, people who ignored you notice you. Opportunities you thought were out of reach begin seeking you. Things you once begged for start showing up effortlessly. Why? Because when you stop chasing, you stop leaking your power. Your energy changes. Your posture changes. Your presence changes. You become the person in the room who doesn't need attention to be respected. You become the person who doesn't speak loudly, but is always heard. You become the person who doesn't beg for a seat at the table. You walk in knowing you deserve one. That energy, that gravity, that stillness, it's irresistible. But there's something even more destructive than chasing, begging. There's a specific kind of pain that comes from begging, and it's not the pain of being ignored. It's the pain of betraying yourself. You know this feeling. That moment when you send a message you shouldn't have sent. When you apologize for something you didn't do wrong. When you lower your standards just to keep someone close. Begging is not about the words you say. It's about the identity you sacrifice. Every time you beg for love, attention, validation, or closure, you're not fighting for the relationship. You're fighting against yourself. Begging tells the world, my worth depends on your response. My value depends on your approval. The universe has a simple rule. Anything you beg for, you lose. Anything you command through your presence, you earn. The more you lower yourself, the higher they raise their expectations for what they think you'll tolerate. The more you chase their love, the less valuable your love becomes to them. But the moment you stop begging, your entire world shifts. Your silence becomes your boundary. Your distance becomes your protection. Your absence becomes your statement. Suddenly people behave differently. Not because you said something, but because you finally stopped saying everything. This leads us to one of the most misunderstood powers, strategic silence. We live in a world of noise. Everyone is talking, explaining, defending, chasing. The moment you step away from the chaos and choose silence, you stand out. People will notice. People will respect. People will start measuring themselves against you. Silence is not absence. Silence is strategy. It's the ultimate form of self-mastery. When you control your reactions, your words, and your presence, you become unstoppable. Imagine walking into a room and saying nothing, yet commanding attention. Imagine listening more than you speak, yet understanding everything happening around you. The world is full of people who react impulsively to everything. They burn energy on chaos. They exhaust themselves, explaining themselves to people who have already made up their minds. But the strategically silent, they're learning, observing, and conserving their energy for what truly matters. Silence also creates clarity. When you stop filling every moment with words, you see what others miss. You notice patterns. You detect intentions. You understand dynamics. While others are busy being loud, you're building your power silently, consistently, unshakably. Which brings us to perhaps the most challenging aspect of self-mastery, walking away. Your true value is revealed by what you refuse to tolerate. Every moment you stay in a situation that diminishes you, every time you accept less than you deserve, you're signaling that your worth is negotiable. But real strength isn't measured by what you hold on to. It's measured by what you're willing to walk away from. Walking away is not failure. It's a declaration. I know my worth. I know what I deserve. And I refuse to let anything or anyone convince me otherwise. The moment you walk away from what isn't yours, you step into what is. The moment you release the unnecessary, the unaligned, the toxic, the draining, life makes room for the extraordinary. It takes courage to walk away, but it's the ultimate demonstration of strength because it requires no one's validation. So here's the paradox that changes everything. The less you seek the world's attention, the more the world seeks you. The less you demand recognition, the more recognition finds you. The less you chase love, opportunities, or approval, the more these things flow naturally into your life. Stop measuring your success by who is present or absent. Stop validating yourself through others' reactions. Instead, build your mind, sharpen your skills, strengthen your boundaries, deepen your understanding of who you are and what you deserve. Become the person who is so aligned, so disciplined, so grounded that the world has no choice but to notice. When you stop chasing, you don't just attract better things, you become better. Everything that is meant for you will find its way effortlessly, powerfully, and permanently. Remember this, your power is not in what you chase, beg for, or explain. It's in who you become when you refuse to do these things. Make your silence your superpower. Make your boundaries your shield. Make your self-respect your compass. Walk through life with quiet confidence, unpredictable strength, and unwavering purpose. The moment you stop chasing, begging, and explaining is the moment you step into your true power. Stand tall, stay silent, and watch as the world bends, shifts, and aligns itself with the energy of the person you have become.